Hello, Facebook world. Tonight on Culture Coast, we are going to be chatting with Jared Walker, who is an actor, director, choreographer, designer, and now the creative director of the Sailor Circus with the Circus Arts Conservatory. We're going to be clowning around right here on Culture Coast. Thanks for joining us on Culture Coast, brought to you by the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Sarasota County. I am Catherine Parks, and we would like to thank some very special people without whom we wouldn't be here, starting with our presenting sponsor, Elizabeth Van Riper, Realtor with Michael Saunders and Company, and also Beautiful You Boutique and iStage Homes. And we're going to be introducing to you shortly our new winter set. So before we bring on Jared, I want to take a second to celebrate my co-producer and director, Elise Rodriguez. We have a picture of her on the cover of Style magazine. I hope you're showing it right now. And this is Elise, this month, our cover girl. She's amazing. She works behind the scenes. She's our guest host, and we're proud of you, Elise. She does a lot of work with FST Improv. And so she's getting a little shout out like a supermodel style. So yay for Elise. So with that, let's say hello to Jared.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, welcome to Culture Coast.
Thank you so much.
What do you think of our new winter set?
It's very nice.
Yep, it's all holiday festive and all greatness. So, so I haven't seen you since, not seen you, but I really haven't talked to you since you've become creative director at Sailor Circus.
Yes, it's only been about 4 weeks now, so everything's still very new.
Crazy. I know, it's so exciting. And we're going to talk about that. But first, so our show, we like to talk to artists about art. And you have been in the arts for a very long time. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your journey from a young age to where you are today. So how did it all begin?
Well, I'm a Florida boy, born on the east coast of Florida. I come from parents that were from West Virginia. So my father, a coal miner, my mother, an artist painter. So I grew up in a creative household, being around my mom a lot. Started piano at the age of 7. Had my first lead in a play in 3rd grade. I was Glum Bunny in the Easter play, became Sunny Bunny in the end.
Do you remember any lines?
No, but it was definitely an experience that changed my life for sure.
Yeah.
I'd found theater. I'd found something that I connected with. And
then what brought you from that point to then going on and taking it professionally? Did you study theater?
I went to high school at a private Catholic school, and discovered I had choreography skills, and started choreographing for the group, and went to a college studying music and education at first. And then I had a change of heart and a little discovery, and decided to go to Shenandoah Conservatory in Winchester, Virginia. Studied to get a bachelor's of music and theater.
Oh, great.
Yes.
And like, what's one of your biggest takeaways from that experience in college?
It's where I really learned not only to be a good actor, have good audition skills, but it's where I learned my basis for directing and costume design as well.
Yeah, which is something that you're actually also pretty amazing at.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So then, now I know you've lived in a few places, Virginia, Orlando, and then eventually you became an equity actor in New York, and then you moved to Sarasota. So how did all of that go down?
Well, after graduating college, I did a number of regional tours and regional theater. Found my way to Orlando, did some work for Walt Disney World for a period of time.
What did you do with Disney?
I was mostly a seasonal performer. I did like Christmas and Easter, their main stage shows. I got a chance to perform in a couple of parades as well. 20 magical years. And then I found my way to New York City, where I spent 6.5 years, and left right after 9/11, not too long after that.
What were some of the shows or things you did up in New York?
Um,
I think we have some pictures too of young Jared that we're going to be
There's
showing.
probably a few. There you have, yes. When I would not be going out on tours or find a show, I was lucky enough to work for a company called Restaurant Associates, which is the #1 corporate catering company in New York City. And I became a manager within their first 6 months, and I was running events at places like Rockefeller Center, Metropolitan Opera House, and all the major museums. Got to see a lot of really cool places. Made me a very good manager. I learned how to be the middle guy, working with a number of course, the wait staff, the chefs, the guests of the party, the people who are actually running or sell the event. So it just it was a good job for me, and allowed me to leave the city when I needed to.
Yeah. And then how did Sarasota become home?
Well, I left not long after 9/11, that experience. I knew New York wouldn't be the same for me. So it brought me back to Florida, where I spent some time in Orlando, kind of figuring it out. And I found out about an audition for the Golden Apple Dinner Theater here in Sarasota for the musical Chicago.
Yeah, and I think we have a picture of Chicago.
Yeah, I think it's the second cast. We did a revival show, which
so
you were in with us.
Oh, yeah, so you were in the first Chicago.
The first Chicago.
Okay, because the Golden Apple did Chicago, and then 4 years later kind of did it again.
Yes, with Bill Hayes from Days of Our Lives.
Yes. That was great. Yeah, and that's how I think I got to know you. It may have been sooner, but...
Yeah, but I think that was our first real experience on stage together, for sure.
Yeah, Chicago was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. So when did you meet Eric?
In that first original cast of Chicago.
Okay.
I met him and a number of longtime friends still to this day. Kyle Turoff, who her and her father owned the theater.
Yep.
Jeff Kinn, who is now the artistic director for the Players Theater. Dwayne Barrett, who's off choreographing in China now. So a lot of my long-term friends came out of that first show.
Yeah, I know. Golden Apple gave me also a great foundation in this town, because it's been...
Well, your mother worked there for...
Yeah, my mother worked there in the 70s. Before Catherine was born. And then my first show there was in, I was in high school. I think it was like 99 or something like that. So, but now you have no idea how old I am. So tell me a little bit more about your life in the arts in Sarasota.
Golden Apple was a good source of employment for me for a number of years, until of course the market crash, and of course the theater closing after that forced me into looking at other things that I had done before to start something here in town. Now that I had a home, a husband, animals, I didn't want to travel as much as I had through most of my career. So I eventually started directing a lot for the Players Theater and doing a lot of costuming for them, which is a talent that I discovered at the Players. It was something I had studied in college, but didn't really know that I could do something like that.
Where did you learn to sew?
My aunt, my mother's sister, for many years had a sewing machine, and I would sit with her and sew periodically. And then, of course, college, my class, I had to sew for a full year.
Oh, yeah?
So, yes.
And you probably never thought how much you would rely on that.
Never, ever did I really imagine that it would turn into something that it did, for sure.
So I know you've directed some great shows, and we have a couple pictures. I did Crazy for You.
One of my favorites.
With you. That was one of my favorites as well. That was amazing. And then you've done Young Frankenstein.
Last year, Bullets Over Broadway.
That was a great
One of my all-time favorites, Addams Family.
Yeah.
And of course, The Who's Tommy, which I think Jeff Kinn is trying to put in the final season at the Players next year.
One
of my all-time favorites.
Oh yeah, that's I remember seeing that one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a while back. That was pretty cool. And then I also heard that when you first came to Sarasota, you did a little gig with the Sailor Circus.
That was the first year that I was here. I was approached by Dwayne, who had done shows with at the Apple. He had gotten involved at the Players with a project called The Legend of Yin and Yang, which is a cross-cultural experience with the world-class acrobats of Zunyi, China, and the Sailor Circus. So we were kind of the actors, and then these circus acts. So we were kind of the storytellers, which also allowed us to go to China for 10 days and perform with the acrobats on their stage in China. Amazing experience.
Yeah.
But funny that it's full circle to the circus, you know, being one of my first major experiences here in the city. Was in that arena. So
Right, and you said that there's actually a lot of similarities between theater and circus.
a lot.
Tell me a couple.
It's very family oriented. You know, so many circus come from their families. You know that they've been doing it for years.
Right.
A lot of them learn from them, and but that family feeling, the temporary job. You know, once that job is over,
What do
have
you
to
do
look
next?
for another job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I know, so you've been an actor, director, a costume designer, now creative director. What do you find, is there one thing that you'd like to do more than another? Do you find creative fulfillment in a certain area? Do you
Yes,
love it all? Like what?
I do love it all. As long as I'm being creative, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I think directing and producing definitely is the most fulfilling because it allows me to use all of the things that I've done in one place. And the thing that I'm excited about the circus part is that I'm also learning new things, you know, circus disciplines and what it takes to do those acts.
Right. So I know you recently did a show with the circus. You were like the ringmaster, is that?
Well, that's kind of how how it all started. I'd been at the Players as their costume manager for a couple of years, and I took a job with Circus Arts Conservatory this summer, becoming their ringmaster for the Circus Summer Spectacular.
Okay.
So, and that conversation just led into a number of the things that I did and brought me to this position.
And what does it take to be a ringmaster? Like, is it just being like charismatic on stage? Like what?
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting the audience excited, but being clear about what the acts are.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you do as a creative director now?
Well, I'm pretty much in charge now of anything creative for the Sailor Circus. I'll oversee costuming, props, sets, music, and the overall production.
That sounds like a dream job.
So it is. I'm very excited. I am very excited about it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then what are some of the upcoming shows at the Sailor Circus?
We are currently working on our Christmas holiday Big Top show,
Okay.
which will be at the Big Top this year out by the UTC Mall, Nathan Benderson Park. Plays December 27th through the 30th. And it's all of our students working hard to put on a great show for you. So.
Nice.
And then after that, we'll look towards our spring show, which will be in the new arena. That's being renovated. Well, not the new arena, newly renovated arena.
Right. I think we have a couple pictures of what's coming related to that we can share.
It's very exciting. It's the first time that it's ever been air conditioned.
Oh my.
New seating, new lights, new sound, new flooring. Really, really exciting. And it's going to be available for special events. And of course, we'll be adding a lot of new classes, new coaches. We have a new head coach. So lots of new and exciting coming in the new arena.
Yeah, and I guess the Circus Arts Conservatory and the Sailor Circus, it's all growing. Lots of programs and classes.
Yes, they will be starting like Mommy and Me classes in the mornings. Homeschool kids will be able to take class there during the days. And for special needs children, we'll be starting classes for that also in the spring.
So that's the one thing that's very unique about Sarasota, that like I remember going to school here, and after school kids would like get on the bus and go to the circus, and like you always hear stories about people running away with the circus, and I'm like, what's the big deal? Like we have a circus in the tent. What's the big deal about?
Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm very excited about it. Running away with the circus, yes. That's where my husband Eric got his start.
Oh, really?
He started the Sailor Circus as a young man, unicycle and trapeze, and that's where he really kind of found that he could dance, and that's what set him on his career path.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I love Eric. Eric is so talented and just such a good person.
He grew up in this town.
Yeah.
His parents, his father was a mayor of this town. So.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning so much tonight.
Yes, Elmer Brokel. He was
okay. And
the mayor for a while.
And I love his mother.
Yes, she's still competing in
Ruth,
pageants.
yep.
She's going after one more Lifetime Queen Award. She's 86.
Wow. She's 86
So.
and she's doing all these beauty pageants and she's like killing it. And she's so great. I just love her. So one question that I have ask everybody who comes on the show is, what's one thing you do that has nothing to do with the arts?
I love yard work.
What?
I do. It's kind of like my my therapy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like
when
gardening and
I love it. I do.
that's right. You guys have succulents, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a succulent garden and a pond.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Yard work is not something that I have ever. I've kept some orchids alive recently for like a good year. They're still kicking. So, and then do you have any advice for anyone who's getting into the arts? What would you say to them? Someone who's interested in performing or running away with the circus?
Well, I think that everybody, when you're watching it, it looks like a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun. But it's also a lot of hard work and dedication, commitment. I think it's great for children because it teaches them those very things, commitment, teamwork, and builds confidence.
Yeah.
But it's a tough industry. If you're really going out to make a living of it, you get a lot of no's before you get that yes. And you just got to keep at it. Believe the dream.
Yeah. I think that's wonderful advice. And
Thank you.
on that note, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Catherine. I
You're
really appreciate it.
amazing, and I'm happy to have you on
Thank you.
our show. So that is our show for today. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Elizabeth Van Riper with Michael Saunders and Company. Elizabeth enriches the real estate experience of her customers with her extensive market knowledge and involvement with Sarasota's diverse cultural landscape. We'd also like to thank Beautiful You for providing my beautiful purple wardrobe, and also iStage Homes. We're loving our winter set. 2 thumbs up. And we're going to take a little break for the holiday. I know everyone's going to be celebrating Thanksgiving next week. So our next show is December 6th. We'll be bringing on the entire cast of a Christmas at the Crosley, singing classic Christmas carols and bringing you lots of holiday merriment and surprise. I will be one of those carolers. So happy holidays, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.